Hello.
You are going to see more of us in the next couple of weeks than you care to.
Whether you like it or not.
We
That sounds bad, doesn't it? It's like a promise or a threat.
we've made a commitment to some important people in our lives to go live more often, and we've heard from you that you want to hear from us. So here we are.
Yay.
Today,
Who are you?
I'm Gus Calabrese, otherwise known as the Events Guy.
I'm Ashley Baptiste, also known as the Cool Chick.
Yeah, there we go. And we're here to bring you weekly tips on how to move your life forward. Better known as advancing your life.
Yes.
Yes.
We like to advance. Because if you're not advancing, you're actually going backwards. You're not just standing still. I learned that.
So,
what do you have for us today, Mr. Calabrese?
We were going to talk about productivity hacks.
Okay.
And how to get simple little things you can do every day in your life that will make your life better, make you move, make you advance, get where you want to get.
You know what's kind of fun about these?
What's that?
They're actually not just like things that can make your life better. They can actually make your life easier. I mean, you still have to do the work. Maybe simpler. Maybe that's better.
I'll admit, there's some of these things we do, some we don't. We're not perfect.
Some of things we're better at doing than others. Sometimes I'm better at doing things at a certain time, and then I kind of forget.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that again. So it's a perfect time to remind us.
Do you want to start?
I would love to. All right. So number one, the quality of your sleep, exercise, and diet will determine your energy levels.
Man, that is so true.
As somebody who has low blood sugar, like documented, I don't just use it when I'm having an argument. Well, no, I don't. I haven't in a while, but I did with my ex-husband. Anyway, yeah, like if I didn't have my blood sugars at the right level, if I wasn't consuming enough protein, if I wasn't well rested, if I didn't exercise that day, like today, I get a little grouchy. So between that and energy levels, it's just really important to take care of yourself.
But the reality is diet, sleep, and exercise is key. The most successful people we know exercise every day. Yes. They watch their diet. They are fit. They're healthy.
They don't drink too much. Nothing is in excess. Everything's like perfectly moderated.
Yeah, everybody moderates, and
nobody's overdoing it.
No, and getting enough sleep. I mean, it's no badge of honor to, hey, I only had 6 hours sleep last night or 5 hours sleep.
Yeah, then you're probably not as sharp as you need to be. And I don't know if I really want to talk like about major business decisions if somebody hasn't had enough sleep or if they're like their body's out of whack. You know what I mean?
So sleep, exercise, and diet. Diet's probably, they're all really important.
They really are.
All three are really important.
Which is why I said them.
Yeah. Okay. Number two, write down your top priorities every day.
I love this one.
Do you do it?
No. But I probably do it every couple of days when I start to say, why am I working on this? Or why is this so hard? Or I start getting in my head about like, this is really tough and I need a break. And then I stop and I realize, wait a minute, there's a reason I'm doing this. And then once I sort of reacquaint myself or reconnect myself with that, it doesn't feel like it's hard work anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I want that.
You say you don't do it, but we actually do it every morning. You and I, after we have our staff meeting, we put our heads together. We always say, okay, what needs to get done today? What's most pressing?
You're right.
What's most pressing? Yeah, and we go with that. So
yeah, right. Yeah, good point. All right. So here's one I love. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. I don't know how many times I go through my email inbox and there's something that I just, my first sense is I need to get through this whole box, right? I need to just hit everything on here and then just delegate it or figure out or schedule it at what time I'm going to do it. But if there's something on there that's like, hey, you know what? I could just get this done right now. I don't have to schedule. I can just do it. And then it's done. And then I don't have to think about it anymore.
I did this today.
Yeah.
I had to update the page on one of our landing pages. And
thank you.
You asked me to do it. It took me like an hour to write the copy yesterday. And then today you asked me to update it. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to get this done right now.
Exactly.
And it literally took me like a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was done.
And I had one of those moments too, where I had another task where I was just like, oh, I need to get this done. Should I go review it? And then I'm like, you know what? No, if it isn't perfect, that's okay. It just needs to get out. So I like sent it.
Number 4.
I'm not sure if it actually went.
Number 4, and I'm trying to get Ashley to do this, and her mentor tells her to do this,
right.
And our mentors tell us to do this. I need you to
show me how.
Is turn off all non-emergency notifications. If you've got your phone and it's beeping with every time somebody posts about you on Facebook or mentions you, or just a Facebook post, or every email that comes in, I get 600 emails a day. Like I don't have time to let them turn. I'll tell you,
it's important for me to know that there was an earthquake in Southern California yesterday.
On top of the flood.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's horrible.
So
I hope you guys are okay.
What's emergency type notifications?
I need to turn them off.
Yeah,
you're right. I check my phone frequently enough. I don't need something to say, "Hey, look at me again." So,
our parents or kids calling us. You can set it kid specific.
Okay. Yeah.
Parent specific.
Show me how.
We travel a lot.
Please.
We travel a lot. We use travel apps from the airlines we travel on, from the rails in Europe. They're important because things change.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, they're really important. What else? I mean, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if it's somebody, yeah. I mean, if it's somebody calling and it's an important call, obviously. But yeah, I get notifications about way too many things that are really not critical or core to my life. So
hey, have you seen this dog video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had that
one. Look,
all
Gus.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Note to self, I will be more productive if I don't have so many interruptions that I'm actually like putting in my own way. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
So here's one that really struck home with me. Number 5, 4 hours of deep work is greater than 8 hours of distracted work. Kind of falls into what we were just talking about, but it's so true. If I can get a very focused 4 hours, I know what my tasks are, I know what needs to get done, and I can just plow through and do it, is way better than spending 8 hours just kind of flitting around and, oh yeah, I need to do that. Oh yeah, I need to do that. So that's good stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, he's making fun of me again.
No, it's totally good stuff. I know we were talking about this the other day. I was working on something that should take me 2 hours to do, and it took me all day because something
kept. Well, then, so the notifications that I get on my phone very similar.
Hold on, they weren't notifications. They were distractions.
Yeah.
Those distractions were we had to update some security
stuff.
We had to set some ticket types that were incorrect on the website. We had to do. The distractions are not necessarily coming from my phone.
They're not necessarily bad, and they still need to be taken care of. So, yeah, I get it. It's all good. I'm not saying that it was like one better than another.
No.
You're going to test me about what? I got to figure out how to do that. But yeah, I like that one.
All right, next one. Only compare yourself to who you were yesterday. We were at a conference earlier this year, and 3 very powerful people on the stage said the same thing. Actually, 4 people said it. Jesse Itzler, Robert Herjavec, Tom Brady, and Mark Wahlberg all said the same thing.
They weren't prompted to say it.
No, they weren't prompted. They all said it in a different way. And the concept is micro steps. A little bit each day makes you better at the end of the year.
Yes.
So you just want to compare to what you were doing yesterday.
Right.
Compare yourself. Don't compare
yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to other business people. Don't compare yourself to the person you just had coffee with this morning. Compare yourself to the person that you were yesterday so that you can, that's the best benchmark, right? And I liked the micro actions too. So there was discussion very specific with this and what we're talking about, but about 10 minutes. If you practice with your kids soccer or playing catch for 10 minutes every day this week, then by the time they go to their Saturday practice, they've already got that much more in the bank, almost an hour of practice that they didn't have before and that the other kids probably didn't have. So very cool. Number 7, better to do a few things well than a lot of things badly. You know, we've all talked about jack of all trades kind of thing and master of none. It's better to actually be a master of several things and not try to do everything. And I think that has so much to do with focus, and then knowing what is important, what is urgent, and what needs to or can be delegated so that you're not trying to handle everything. You know how to handle everything if you need to, but
you should.
Not if you want to grow.
No. What was next? My next?
Yes, you are.
Oh, I love this.
No.
If you don't plan your time, someone else will. Give me your time. I'll plan your time for you. I'll figure out something for you to do. I always got something for you to do.
Yeah. So this is it. If you're not scheduling yourself appropriately, someone else will schedule you for you or for them.
We heard something at the last women's conference we ran. I remember a woman telling a story about how she was being offered promotion. We heard this story twice in the last couple of years. We heard this. Another woman said the same thing. She was being offered a promotion, and she said, "But I don't have time. I can't dedicate the time. I want to go see my kids at school. I want to see them play their games." And her VP, who was inviting her to come up and take the bigger job, was like, "Yeah, so what? Go see your kids. Go.
We're not stopping you.
We're not stopping you."
Becoming a VP does not mean you cannot go watch your child play Little League or the basketball game or the softball game. And in her mind, she was the one who had the belief that she couldn't do that. If she took a bigger role.
I was very fortunate when my kids were at the age of playing different games. I would plan on every one of their games. If I was in town and we weren't traveling, I was there for every one of their games. I put it in my schedule. I turned down important business meetings.
Or you scheduled them for different times.
Yeah, scheduled them for different times. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, Francesca just said, "I'm the master of overscheduling." That's fantastic. I mean, I get it.
Well, that's great. If you're overscheduling and you're in charge of it, that's awesome.
I was gonna say, as long as you're in charge of your schedule, that's the key.
Your brother's pretty good at overscheduling.
He's phenomenal at it. He's been phenomenal at it since he was a kid. It is absolutely one of the things he does very well is scheduling about as much as you can. I don't know how. If people have problems sleeping on the plane on the way home from a trip, they should meet my brother because he's going to schedule them so hard that by the time they finally get on that plane to go home, they will pass out exhausted. Absolutely.
So we're going to plan. Everybody get out there and plan your day.
Your time.
Our one of our mentors, who happens to be a billionaire, he plans his schedule out in 6-minute increments. That gives you 10 scheduled slots in an hour. Think of that.
Don't have that level of intricacy yet, but I am trying to do a better job of scheduling my time, especially when it's like, okay, you know how it is. We've all reached the point where we've done this for a while now, some of us, that you find that you're better at doing certain tasks earlier in the day than later. Like I am a writer, or writing art is part of my responsibilities. I really try not to do that in the afternoon because I tend to not focus as well in the afternoon. But if I'm sharp and first thing in the morning, I can really hit it if I have to write.
On that same subject, if you find have a difficult task like a writing task or you have to build something out, a big proposal. Get started on it quickly. Do some hard work on it. Park it and come back to it the next day, first thing in the morning, and it'll be like, oh my God, this is so easy. I can just knock this right out.
Right. Or sometimes you look at it and you're like, what? What was I thinking when I wrote this? I must have been really distracted. I got to start this over, or at least I got to fill it out again.
Yeah.
Or go to ChatGPT and just ask, what? Get me started. Just get me started. So anyway, number 9, review your goals every day. This is great because sometimes, as I said, you kind of forget, why are you doing this? But if you have the goal there and you're constantly looking at it, if you're constantly looking at your vision board, which I highly recommend, if you're constantly looking at the things like, ooh, we need to have, this many tickets sold, or we need to have this much revenue in the bank, or we need to have measures, have key performance indicators, also known as KPIs. You've heard it. Have these things in front of you and review them every day. Even if you have to schedule a specific time where every day, I'm going to take that moment and look at my goals and review them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll go one step further. Make sure those goals are your goals.
Right.
If you're working for someone else, the company, you have goals within the organization. You have goals if you're, if you're in a small organization, there's 3 to 10 employees, that the owner of the company has goals, and he very much or she very much should expect you to have your own goals, but accomplish the goals of the organization and be compensated for it. And if not, you're in the wrong organization. And I hate to say that, but you can be in the wrong organization. And believe me, right now, I had 3 conversations today, and they all centered around hiring people for 3 different companies. And all 3 of us were saying how difficult it was to get the right person these days. What I'm saying is, if your goals aren't being met at the company you're with, look for another company, look for another organization.
Absolutely. Yes. Couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Is it me?
I think so.
This goes back to what we were just talking about. 1% improvement every day for a year will make you 37 times better.
What?
Think of it, 1%.
If I do this much more every day on something.
We go real simple. So say you're starting to work out. When you say you're starting to work out and you want to do 5 sit-ups a day.
Okay.
That's a bad number. It's wrong. You want to do 10 sit-ups a day.
Okay.
The next day, do 11.
Ooh. So basically do more. But I mean, does that mean by the end of the year, I'm going to have rock solid abs?
Yeah, see how that works out?
Yeah, no. And then I won't mind that I'm spending so much time doing abs. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, so again, one of the things that was discussed at one of the conferences we attended earlier was just that taking that extra time, that couple of minutes every day. If you're trying to learn a new language, if you're trying to learn a new skill, microdose it for yourself, just a few minutes every day. And by the end of the month, even, you'll be so much further ahead.
Francesca has a question. That's a great question. When your goals change but don't align with what you're doing now, do you refocus those goals to shift to your new goals?
That's a phenomenal question, Francesca. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you do shift to new goals, the goals you want, and then you achieve those goals. Right. Or you choose that goal is no longer important to you. You refocus.
Which is why it's important to review the goals. Because if you review a goal and you're just like, yeah, you know what, I'm good, or that's just not important to me anymore, then that's the opportunity to say, okay, that one's out. I'm not going to review that one anymore. I'm going to put the new ones in place. And I'm going to look at them every day. I'm going to review them every day. I'm going to think about them every day. What does this look like when I've achieved the goal? Start getting that picture in your mind. Start visualizing. This is what this looks like.
Yeah, and then figure out what you need to do. And it's micro steps. If you knew exactly what you had to do to accomplish your goal, and you had the skill set and the resources to do that, your goal would be accomplished already.
Yeah.
So you're not going to know exactly how to get there yet. At one point, your parents' goal was for you to walk, and then it was for you to talk. You got past those goals. Your goal was to graduate high school, and then it was to graduate college if you went to college, and you got past that.
Right. So the point is,
your goals get bigger as you move on as a human being.
Well, and I think sometimes, and again, Francesca, awesome question. Thank you so much for asking it. I think we forget that we've achieved things. So when we're always thinking, oh, I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't reached that yet. But it's important to take a second, and even just as I said, in the part of where you're reviewing your goals, if you've already achieved it or you're like this close, then it's time to come up with another set of goals that pushes you even further. And yes, you deserve it. And yes, why not go after it? If it's something that, makes impact, if it's something that just brings you so much joy, if it brings joy to the people around you, constantly update those goals. If it's just not getting you out of bed in the morning, get a new goal that gets you excited about, I'm going to go make that happen. I'm going to crush it. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So keep them fresh. Keep reminding yourself what they are, why you're doing all of this. And look for those needle movers, those small things that you can do every day to move the needle toward achieving your goal. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit every day. Oh, is this me? Okay. Number 1, number 11. Set the do not disturb mode as your default. Oh my gosh.
Set the do not disturb mode as your default. Let me repeat that. Set the do not disturb mode as your default.
Yeah. So there, I need to do that.
Francesca.
I do that, and then the phone rings, and then I miss the call, and I'm like, oh crap. And then I undo the do not disturb thing, and then I get disturbed again. So there you go. Well, Francesca,
what's the difference between goals and dreams? I love this question. So dreams are, I have a dream, and this is for the United States. I have a dream of everybody having to do a service project as a coming of age project,
like national service,
national service project.
He has this whole thing planned out. We just need to find the right vehicle.
But also, it's not a hardcore goal; it's a dream, and the goal for that dream, the micro goal for that dream, is to find someone else who's aligned to it and give them. I would give the keys to anybody who wants to take that on and make it happen. My dream is to see it happen. My goal is to find someone to make that happen.
Oh, I like that.
But I'm not giving up everything to do that. Right. Does that make sense? My dream is my goal is to own a jet. I'm having trouble talking tonight. My goal is to own a jet. My dream is to have 6 jets all over the country.
There's the difference between the goal and the dream. It's interesting, Francesca, because we've done a lot of work, I would say, in the past 3 years, focusing on making our dreams a reality and making our dreams into goals. But I think that, when you're looking for a distinction like that, the difference really is, it's about really going for your dreams.
We've actually run a session. We should do this session again. We've actually run a session on funding your dream.
Funding, yes.
We have. I love that. And I use it. It's a tool I use.
So one of the things that we did, this was a great activity.
I know my dream cost me.
Well, that's just it.
My dream cost me $2.3 million a month.
Now it's a goal, right? That puts it into reality. And the point is, you look around, there's no reason why you can't go after your dreams. They really are just goals that you've sort of set on a higher level or a higher shelf for yourself. But here's an example. So I have a vision board. I finally did a vision board. I'm like, I don't know. I already know what I want. Well, putting it, like printing stuff out and sticking it on a board.
You look all tiny tonight.
What I'm talking with my hands. Well, it's because I hang out with you, big guy. But yeah, I've taken, the photos of things, images of things, numbers, things like that. I have them on my vision board. I have a flat in London. I don't right now, but I want one, and it's on my vision board. So I actually went online to look at what it would cost for the flat of the size that I'd like in the neighborhood that I'd like. So now I know, right? It's not a pipe dream anymore. It's now like, oh, I know I need to make this much every month to be able to afford that flat in London. and to buy him a G-Wagon, and to buy him a jet, and to
I know a dream to goal to accomplishment that we're working on right now.
Tell me.
Our dream 5 years ago was to have a place in South Florida. We will be. We live in the Northeast in the Pennsylvania area near Philadelphia. We will have a place in South Florida this time next year. And it's a goal, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty stick in the ground.
The resources are there. It's a time. Sometimes goals take time, and in this case, the time is Ashley's son graduating school. Sort of like being pregnant, you can't rush it.
He finishes when he finishes. He graduates next summer.
He graduates next summer, and that's the only roadblock in that goal accomplishment right now.
Which gives us time to find it.
But it was a dream. And it seems like an impossible dream.
Aw, I'm so happy. We're moving. Now I have to get rid of all my shit. I have a lot. Anyway, you're next.
The next one. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Don't get excited about stuff that's not really going to.
If it doesn't jazz you, like absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Don't
do it.
Don't.
You got to go hang out with friends that you don't want to hang out with.
Don't.
You
don't have to. You're the one who schedules your time. You're in control. And for a lot of folks, this is hard. But my mom, but my dad, but my brother,
we had a tough decision this year, and we travel a lot. We were invited to go to Singapore, and it was all expenses paid, and we didn't have to pay for anything. They would have flown us to Singapore, and the reason we didn't do it is there was
one critical.
We had work. We had
investment. Yes, time.
It
was really time.
It was really. I mean, if they would have invited us to a 2-hour flight away, we probably would have done it. And hell yes, that makes sense. Let's go there. We can learn something. But we Singapore was a bigger commitment.
I really would love to go, but yeah, that was rough.
I like this next one too.
Number 13, for every hour of learning, spend an hour applying. I love this one because I immediately made me realize I spend a lot of time learning. I'm on a fabulous weekly call to learn how to integrate more productivity hacks and automated systems in my business and in my life. But if I don't take the time to actually do it, I'm sort of stuck in the same pattern of, oh yeah, I was going to do that. And then I don't. So I absolutely live this one, that taking a little bit of time to actually get it done and set it up will save you just massive efficiency. It's really awesome.
Yes.
All
right. The next one.
Yes.
The longer you put off the task, the harder it becomes.
Why is that? Man, it's like physics, man. What is it?
It builds up in your brain, and it just you make it harder. You make it harder in your own brain than it actually is.
So is that like a belief lid thing?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now I've stoked it up in my head to be hard.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
You've told yourself it's going to be hard.
Told myself it's going to be hard. I have set aside. Like I keep kicking the can further down. Like it's definitely going to be.
But what are you kicking the can down on right now?
You know. All right. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I know one thing.
I have a lot of stuff I need to get rid of before we move to Florida. So it's a now that we've hit that kind of 1 year mark, I was like, ooh, I do have a lot of things I need to get rid of. I've got a lot of papers from years past. I've got a lot of clothes from years past, not just mine. I've got stuff I need to figure out, like heirloom items that are important to me or other items that aren't as important to me. So I have a lot of stuff I just need to sift through.
Yeah, you're working on that.
I do. So I was trying to put in, but I didn't, like a 15 minutes a day thing. Again, that microdosing where I take just a few minutes every day and start getting rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
Check in with me in a little bit and we'll see how that goes. So
there we go.
Is this you or me?
You take it.
All right. If you want to burn out, don't take breaks. That is so true because I know I get a little stale behind the desk.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't get up and move around, if I don't change my scenery, I even say like you need to get up and just change the air in your lungs, right? Just to kind of, all right.
You and I are
we're a little different this way.
We've been I joke that we have two modes. We have travel and we have work, and actually when we're traveling, we are working most of the time.
Definitely.
So we need to take those little breaks. We also work from home, and we've worked from home way before COVID. We worked from home since the mid 2000s. Actually, maybe been longer than that.
Yes.
So taking those little breaks and walking outside or doing whatever it is, even I know Ashley, and thank you, does all the laundry in the house. Sometimes she takes a break to do the laundry, but it's a change of pace.
Change of pace, change of scenery, change of task. Sometimes, and sometimes I find if I'm in the middle of a task that I'm having a little difficulty with, like it's just not as straightforward, it's just not coming together as quickly as like it should be coming together very seamlessly, and it's not. It's probably me. I need to get up. I need to change my scenery. And when I come back to it, I'll be like, oh yeah, boom. And then I can get it done like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sometimes it's just that sense of, and yeah, burnout is not necessary. It's not good for us. It's not healthy. It's bad. So, do what you need to do. Make sure you're eating right. Take a minute. Take a break. Take a water break. Everybody needs to hydrate more than they already are. Is there anybody out there who's actually hydrating enough other than you? You're amazing at hydrating.
I still feel times when I'm not, though.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we heard Tom Brady about that.
Absolutely.
Tom Brady drinks, and I keep bringing up Tom Brady. I mean, I know the women love him and the guys envy him in times, but the dude works really hard on his health.
He does,
and his personal growth.
Yeah, no, nothing to criticize there. He's amazing.
No,
cool. Number 16.
Long-time fulfillment is greater than instant gratification. The most simple way to put this: if you're on a diet, you want to lose weight, you're trying to maintain your health, you just want to feel good. You shouldn't be eating sugary snacks or stuff like that. Or if you have Oreos, have one Oreo. No one needs 10 Oreos.
This is like potato chips, only have one.
You know I can do that.
I know you can. You're very controlled. I would just rather say then screw it. I'm not going to even have one.
And that's a victory.
It is.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. It is a choice, and you're right. Somewhere that actually, it builds confidence too, right? It makes you realize like I'm not succumbing to some crazy, temptation. I'm gonna have the Oreo. I'm gonna have the chip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say no, and then when you're not looking, I'll eat the whole bag. Kidding.
Yes.
Kidding. Okay. Let's see. Number 17. Avoid multitasking.
What are you talking about?
At all costs. It's true. I try to do it. We all try to do it. We have devices that allow us to multitask. But every study anybody's ever read, and anybody who's very successful, who you may have maybe following, will tell you that focusing on more than one task at one time is not the best use of your time. It never works. Don't do it. Okay. Just saying.
I'm just saying, don't multitask.
Don't.
Especially when you're driving.
Oh my God.
No texting and driving.
I see. It scares me.
My favorite's always I see
people who are like driving weird, and then you go like past them and they're like, this while they're driving, and I'm like, don't.
I saw.
You're gonna get hurt.
I saw a woman one time.
You're gonna hurt somebody.
Eating a plate of spaghetti off a dinner plate, like a ceramic dinner plate. She was balancing on the steering wheel.
What?
On 95. She's doing 65
Oh, my
miles an
God.
hour. She's eating pasta. I'm just like,
No,
she wasn't even attending.
How do you know? Oh my gosh. I'm not even gonna open that can of Boyardee. But yeah, okay.
All right.
Oh, man.
Here's a good one.
Yes.
Be mindful of the content you consume.
It's almost like food.
I love this one dearly.
Think about that.
Yes.
Yes. Good, go ahead.
You tend to follow some channels on social media, and then because you follow them, they're not big channels.
Are you talking about me?
Yes. You tend to follow some channels, and then all the content you're getting is that channel content. In fact, I didn't even think about this, but remember last week I mentioned I was going to eliminate every email subscription I had that didn't support my future goals and dreams.
Which is a brilliant thing to
I got rid of all.
You cleaned house?
I cleaned house.
You cleaned house? You're like, why hasn't anybody sent me an email?
Now I get South Florida.
I don't get that
now
anymore.
I get South Florida reports.
Francesca said it's the wormhole.
Yeah, now I get South Florida reports. I get stories on F1.
G-Wagon.
Yeah, I get stories on jets.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
I get stories on fashionable clothing.
It's kind of like
concepts.
saying, right? This is also like the content that comes into your inbox, the content that comes into your social media feeds, in essence, is also really your vision board, right? So if you're looking at content that doesn't serve what you want to make happen in your life, stop it, unfollow, don't look at it anymore, don't have it served to you anymore, because it's a distraction.
You know what goes hand in hand with this, with what you think about all the time becomes your thoughts.
Your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions become your reputation and your legacy.
So
where have I heard that before?
So the other thing you can do, a little hack that I do sometimes.
Yeah, what do you do?
I make my passwords my goals.
Ooh.
I want to move to South Florida.
Don't tell them you did. No.
Oh, don't use that.
Whoops.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
I have a lot of passwords. I would like to graduate
from
this class. And that's my path. And if you have to put dots, you have to put another thing, and dollar signs and underscores.
Right.
And ... There
you go. No, that's brilliant. I like that a lot. And I don't know, are there really that many social feeds that I follow that are that bad? I guess I should think
if you follow either political party, you comment or like either political party or any cause that's out there, both the positive and negative are going to come around that.
Okay. But if it's a cause that I believe in, that I want to see something happen, then no.
Mm-hmm. That's why sometimes when people leave a computer open, I go and look at really crazy things, and they get all the ads.
And then you're going to get ads. You're so bad. All right. Number 19, sleep is the most productive hack.
I'm good at this.
Oh, you are.
I can take a 15-minute nap and be like fired up for the rest of the day.
So Gus has this special chair in our office. It's a gamer chair, right? And it reclines at just the perfect.
It reclines flat.
Okay, yeah. So
if I want to,
he's just like. And he'll say, I'm going to take 15 minutes. Or no, he doesn't. He says, I'm going to close my eyes for a few minutes. That's what he says. And that basically means that I try not to make too many phone calls or just do loud things while he's resting. But yeah, and then or sometimes I'll just say, you know what, you're right. Good, nap time. I'll run upstairs and lie down for a few minutes. I like a 20 to 30 minute myself, but I have a very specific posture.
You can't go into deep sleep.
You can't. You don't want to lie on your side. You don't want to get, because you'll just wake up groggy. But yeah, I mean, that goes in line with taking breaks, and it also goes in line with getting sleep. So. Because sleep helps rejuvenate you.
Did not bode well, my boss. I love that.
Yeah,
well, as our mentor,
I dig that.
As our mentor who does the same thing says, this is not getting underneath the covers.
Yeah, no getting snuggly, no getting. Now you can't get yourself tucked in. You have to just, but getting a few minutes rest can just power your afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The most important thing you can do is not on your phone.
I like this
I
one.
love that one. We had a very productive morning. I've been thinking about this a lot. I was actually asked to be on a panel on event topics. I was actually on security on events. And then at the last minute, I was asked to be the moderator of the panel. And
It's okay.
I stepped out of
if anybody can handle this.
I stepped out of my comfort zone. It went phenomenal.
Really good.
We'll have the video out in a couple days, but it was not on my phone. I mean, it was live. It was on. Actually, I'm going to disagree with this just for a split second.
Okay.
Because the most important thing you can do is meet face to face with somebody. The second most important thing you can do
is connect with them
on the phone. Have a conversation. But
have a conversation.
Anybody with
FaceTime.
kids, anybody who has kids these days.
Yeah.
We have 4 kids. I guarantee the total amount of time they spend talking to someone on their phone to someone else on their phone, all 4 of them in the course of a week is less than 30 minutes.
You're probably right.
Probably less than 15 minutes.
Brett spends a lot of time on his phone. But anyway.
Talking.
But they're like hanging out while they're on the phone with each other. And this is one of those things that I think they just sort of learned how to do during COVID because they couldn't be in person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think for sure the experiences that you have, the people that you have in your life, the people that you want to have around you are much more important than spending time on your phone playing games. And I mean, it's easy to get addicted to it. We've just talked about how you can be distracted 20 times over, and spending time with the people in your life is the most important.
Quality time. Yeah.
Like going to the grocery store. Are we going to the grocery
store?
Yeah,
we have to go to the grocery store now.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of our things.
I'm going to add something in here. It's not a productivity hack. It's just something that I like.
Tell us. Well, I got some more.
You heard me say this before. Keep a list. I keep a list of the top 10 people, and a lot of them are couples. I consider like a single couple of people. Or 2 people.
So when you say top 10 people, who are these people?
That I want to get closer to, that I can either help or they could help me achieve what I want to achieve.
So these are either people that we want to do business with, people that we want to spend more time with from a mentor perspective, people we want to collaborate with business-wise.
People I see promise in that I want to elevate.
Okay.
And we got a good friend in South Florida right now who does some work for us. I'd love to see him be super successful, and I like to spend time with him. So
yes,
he, any chance I can to get to help him accomplish his goals and dreams.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and
that's a good bonus.
Going back, and what reminded me to say this is Francesca was questioning so much about the goals.
Yes.
Sometimes those people I put on the list, I might look at the list. I look at the list every 6 weeks. And sometimes I look at the list and I go like, oh my God, why did I put those people on there? And I have to eliminate.
Like you're not so into them, or they're not that great, or you just
what I thought I saw when they was no longer there.
Okay. So
almost like I'll bring up a stupid name, but almost like pre-O.J. Simpson when he was, or not O.J. Simpson, what's his name? Bill Crosby. Like there was before before the good and then after, and you didn't want to be associated with. But it's usually not that drastic. But it's like sometimes like, oh my God, I need to get closer to these people, learn more about these people, do this, and then later you realize, and then like
they're not that great.
Oh my God, what was I thinking? Jesus, like.
I think that's important, but I also think what I love about you're incredibly good about the list and keeping it updated and being disciplined around it and
I'm not disrespectful to it.
No, not at all. But you also really do put people through a filter. Like this person can help me get better, or I can help this person, and we can all kind of work on this together. I think that's really cool. I think another thing, the way that you apply that filter to almost every task that you do. Like, is this something that's going to get me where I need to go, or is it not?
Oh, 100%.
And you're really good about like, hey, if this isn't going to get me what I need, it's out.
Yeah. I mean,
like, it's not going to happen.
I have an interesting rule. And it's just happened, especially.
Is that the one with people?
No, especially raising children.
Okay.
I will not let anything that wasn't in my life an hour ago cause me pain, or wasn't in my life a day ago. Now, if there's or cause me like stress,
right? Yeah, like somebody starts fighting over something you just got. It's like, okay, you know what? Out, like
or whatever it is, as long as it's not if you get in a car accident or somebody's sick in your family, you have to attend to that immediately. But if there's something, somebody comes to me and you have to do this, you have to change this, you have to do, and you have to fix this, and I get like, no. We actually had a business meeting a couple months ago that kind of halted everything we were doing, and then Ashley and I were sort of rehashing today. At that meeting, nothing ever came of it. And it was like
everything was urgent, everything was important, and we were like, okay, well, we're going to get this to you as soon as we can, and we did. And then it was like,
and that's me failing that I didn't recognize my own filter. And you got to step back and go like, oh my god, I let it happen to me again. Like
that's okay. But you're going for bigger stuff now too, so sometimes it's not as
easier. Right? The clearer your goals are, the more clear you are about what you want from this life, the easier it is to make decisions.
Which goes back to that thing about reviewing your goals. That if you're reviewing your goals every day, you're resetting that filter for yourself to understand to remind you what's important to you. Because again, we can get super distracted. It's so easy to get pulled in different directions, especially if you have family, especially if you have old friends, if you have, just people around you who've been around you for a really long time. And if you're starting to go in a direction that's important to you, this is your goal, you want to make this happen, but the people who are around you are kind of keeping you where you are.
And there's a couple of things around that. As human beings,
that's true.
We want to be steady. We want things to stay exactly the same. We want to be comfortable. Yes. Everybody wants to be comfortable. Comfortable is a trap.
It's like to be comfortable.
People say I'm fine. Fine is not good. If you're standing still, you're moving backwards. As human beings, I'm not a very religious person. As human beings, instinctually, our job here on the planet is to get better than we were and to forward the race.
Okay.
Right?
I guess. Yeah.
So, but
evolve.
It's evolved.
Right.
It's your duty, responsibility, and obligation, as Grant Cardone would say, to be successful. So, in each step, and it's your job, and each person moves at their own pace.
Success is my duty.
There you go, Mr. Grant there. But it's just interesting.
Yes.
That people get comfortable and don't want to.
That's it. I mean, and I think sometimes we seek the job that'll make us comfortable. Well, if I do that job, I'll get this much money, I'll get this much vacation, and I won't have to worry about finding another job for a while.
But so Ray Dalio, if you don't know who Ray is, he's one of the most successful fund managers ever. He made so much money and created systems around the money he made that he almost didn't want to do it anymore, or he just wanted to let the machine roll forward so nobody else could mess up the machine. And one thing he said, and this guy's worth billions of dollars, so one thing he said, and he's got this great book called Principles, it's called Principles. He said, I'd like to say that it gets easier. He goes, the reality is it doesn't. It's harder. The more things you want out of life, the harder life becomes. Now you're able to make better decisions because you've accomplished a smaller task. Ashley and I talk about, if you don't know us, we travel a lot. We travel 140 days a year. We spend a lot of times in airports and train stations and Ubers.
I spend a lot of time buying luggage.
Yeah, we also but a 4 or 6 or 8 hour delay to us these days, or a planned delay,
right?
We don't.
It doesn't throw.
It doesn't
us.
bother us anymore. It's just like this is just part of what we decided to do. And like we see other people lose their minds in airports. I mean, we traveled on the busiest day this year. That July weekend. That was the most busy day of the year.
Yeah.
And there were people losing their minds in the airport. I'm just like,
stuff's just not always going to happen the way it's scheduled. They're called storms. I mean, it's nothing the airline can do about it. And you'll get there when you get there. And the most important thing is to get there safe. So it is fascinating to see, like, bring an extra book. Have some extra things to do. I know. I was just about to say. So Francesca says she will own her own hotel one day.
I truly
believe
on
the vision board, and I was just about to ask Francesca, where is this hotel so that we can come stay there?
Yeah.
So let us know that.
We should
yes,
connect her with Alex.
Will. I was going to say Alex is going to own his own hotel, casino.
He wants to build an incredible casino
in
Las Vegas.
Stay there. That'll be so cool. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you will.
I love traveling and stuff as part of the experience.
Yes, it is. It totally is. And again, I think when you find yourself in that position and you find yourself like, oh no, the flight's not going to be for another hour or two. This is, time on my hand. What do you do with that time? Do you sit there and stew and complain about it, or do you use it in a way that's productive for you? Read a book that's good for you. Read, focus on something. Try to walk around, get your steps in while you're at the airport. Be creative, and it actually boosts your own confidence when you do these things.
And take control of your destiny. Here's what happened to us on that day that happened. If you remember, we had a late flight out. We were in Chicago, flying back to Philly, and we instead of a late checkout, we just booked another night, even though we knew we were leaving like 7:00 from the hotel. We weren't going to stay that night. But what we didn't do, we didn't check out of the hotel room. And let me tell you, it's perfectly fine not to check out of a hotel room. Just leave, take the do not disturb sign off the door. They'll figure it out. They'll send you a bill later. You can straighten out the bill if there's a problem with it. But we booked that extra night, and then we didn't check out. We heard all the weather issues, and when there's
delays all day.
And when it happens, the hotels usually get overcrowded, overbooked. Airlines, the employees of the airline need places to stay.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
So we got proactive and said, let's book that night tonight, and it was only like $50 more. But it wasn't also kept us money, but it was also gave us a room for another 8 hours during the day.
Yeah,
there were 3 of us. We were able to take showers. We were able to pack up to come home. Feeling more refreshed.
Exactly. So instead of having to be out of our room at 11:00 in the morning as a normal checkout time for the day, we we bought the next day so that we could check out later. And then we knew going to the airport, which was fraught with delays, that if we needed to come back, that we had a room that we knew was comfortable and all of that. So I love that. Francesca said, well, first of all, Francesca wants to have her hotel in North Carolina in the mountains, which I'm assuming is Western North Carolina, which I've been to, and it's beautiful. Like around Asheville. Maybe Highlands, or maybe in the rolling hills of Tennessee. That sounds wonderful. But she also said people watching at the airport. I so agree.
It's my favorite.
This is absolutely Gus's favorite thing to do, is just watching how they, first of all, like what they wear, because I am always fascinated by that. But she says, you learn a lot about people at the airport and how to deal with situations. I learned so much about the hospitality industry when I was traveling. It's interesting. I actually come from the hospitality industry. And yes, it is. It's fascinating, again, to see people when they're out of their element, right? That when they're somewhere they're not used to being, or in the process of doing something they're not used to doing. And for a lot of people, that's travel. They're in an unfamiliar setting, and how they behave is very different.
It can be stressful.
Oh, it can be very stressful, but it's really interesting to see how people react, especially if they've got something that they don't like, that they're not happy with. It's like, okay, you flip out like a toddler, or are you going to handle this like an adult?
You also have to assess the situation and what,
it is stressful.
It is stressful, but it also
can be stressful.
You have to assess the situation and understand the limits of what the people are able to do for you.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, and again,
they're not going to pull a plane literally out of the sky to get you.
Here you go, like a baby deer. You're so right. Oh my gosh, and we have them all over our yard.
We have baby deer here.
We do. Is there a little one over there?
No, she's not.
No,
she's
okay,
not,
not today. But yeah, no, it's fascinating to see how people respond. But I think it's also important to understand the humanity. Right? That we're all human, that we all have things happen that we're not so thrilled or excited about. And then sometimes we overreact. I overreact. Gus overreacts. And then later we'll be like, wow, you know what? I probably could have handled that differently, or I probably could have handled that in a way that wasn't so volatile or wasn't so angry or like a baby deer. So, yeah.
We should wrap this up.
You think?
We've been jamming here for almost an hour.
I get that. I want to thank Francesca for throwing so many comments our way. Really appreciate it. Look forward to chatting with you more.
All our friends on Instagram tonight too.
Yes, thank you guys.
Instagram and
absolutely, we got
Facebook was coming through. We had some other people here from LinkedIn.
Ivy and thanks guys.
That's my friend Allie. Ivy Land Alley. Yes.
Awesome.
Good to see her here. Awesome.
Very cool. Guys, thanks so much.
We will. I don't know if we'll see you next week. We're traveling next week. We'll go live. Maybe we'll see you from where. Maybe we'll come live from where we're going to be.
I think we should.
It's a surprise.
It's
a surprise for us. We booked a flight and we don't have the hotel yet. So
it'll be just as much a surprise for us as it will be for you when we go live next week.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night.